with that car. The front cowling is off. Kevin Cogan sits motionless in the car, hoping that the crew can do something, but there is a serious problem with the Kevin Cogan Norton Spirit.
Without a doubt, Kevin Cogan's finest opportunity to win his first ever Indianapolis car race. He finished 4th at Indianapolis a year ago, and he finished 2nd at Milwaukee in an ESPN race. And Kevin, now a frustrated, quiet racer sitting in the pit area, and Ted Otto is nearby.
We just talked to Dan Lucken, Bill, who is with the Penske crew, and he tells us that there was a problem in the gearbox with 4th gear, and they were worried about that, and then they brought the car in, and they're also having some problem with the right rear corner of the vehicle, and they are back there working on that one right now. As the crew works around, we'll see. They will not let us up there close to Kevin. We tried to get a word with him, but he is sitting very dejectedly in his car, and they are working right now on the right rear corner.
Well, when you think about a road course, you think of 2 mechanical problems immediately, brakes and the gearbox, and that is the problem with Kevin Cogan, and it has earlier led to the demise of Jim Hickman and Herm Johnson. See, here is the leader. Here is the leader, Mario Andretti, in for a pit stop. Here is Gary.
This is the second to the last stop. They changed the right side rubber as had been planned. They'll top off the 40-gallon fuel tank and send Mario on his way. And again, we might anticipate another change of right side rubber on the final pit stop. They have that pneumatic jack working. The air hose is off. The car is down on all fours. They're checking now the hood for some reason. Mario is anxious to go. They're cleaning off the nose, and he's underway.
Well, what they were doing there at the end of the pit stop, they were adjusting the weight, the wings there in the front end, and lowering them just a bit. And you can see that Andretti was very anxious to get out and almost told the guy who was adjusting the wings to get out of the way, I want to go racing. Mario is back out there now in 4th place, and he has made a pit stop, and now all of the leaders have made a pit stop. They'll have to make at least one more.
Well, there will be one more stop, and now everybody should have a pretty solid fix on exactly what their fuel consumption ratio is.
ML Spear and Terry Walters were in 2nd place in a Porsche Turbo, and Diego Montoya.
Under a green flag condition just getting to the pit, so even though you might outstop somebody in terms of the time it takes you to change the tires and refuel by, say, 10 seconds, it could have been altogether a 20-second difference by the time you take into consideration slowing.
Herm Johnson was in for a lengthy period, went back out on the racetrack, and was really turning some quick laps, but he is now back in. This could be just a routine fuel stop, though, and a check of the rubber. But Herm Johnson was running very quick on the racetrack just a few laps ago. In fact, he went around our 2nd-place competitor, Jeff Brabham.
Now, Herm is one of the few Indianapolis drivers who has come out of the Badger state of Wisconsin. He and Tom Bigelow are the only 2 that are currently active. Herm, by profession, has his own custom paint shop back home in Eau Claire, and last year a part of his laurels that he collected was an award for a very distinctive paint job that he had on his race car. He comes to the 1982 season with an Eagle, a normally aspirated Eagle. He never did put that turbocharger on that I tried to fix back in Milwaukee, did he?
Herm Johnson, car number 28. Well, the interval now between our leader, Rick Mears, and 2nd place, Jeff Brabham, is 14.6 seconds. Let's review a little bit of what has happened so far in this event. Our most serious crash involved Roger Mears, and his car made heavy contact with a retaining barrier. Roger sustained a concussion, was taken to the hospital, and has been airlifted to Lakefront Airport, or rather, I should say University Hospital, but apparently is suffering only from a concussion. Now coming from the turbocharger, and it looks like that Bill Alsop may be halting that car and getting out right here near the start-finish line in front of us.
Well, I think he was trying to nurse it back to a restarting condition, and as he was doing that, something obviously malfunctioning and maybe some fuel spilling over and getting over into a place in the engine compartment it shouldn't be. Also, in a hurry to get out of the race car, but there's a very good example of the tight and cramped quarters in these Indianapolis cars. Alsop now getting back in. He has decided that the fire is out. He's a racer. He wants to go back out there and get back into the fray. I tell you, Bob, we started to develop the point about how difficult it is to get in and out of these cars. Most of the new cars are almost literally built around the dimensions. We've gone to a general yellow flag around the entire racetrack, Bob.
And an overall yellow means that the pace car will come out once again, and the cars will bunch up, Larry. victory, and this is going to mean that the first fight in front of us has received a tow and is back in competition. So Bill Alsop is still out there. Bill, in earlier performances, finished 11th at Phoenix, 5th at Atlanta, and 16th at Milwaukee.
The rubber situation is fine. They can go in the rubber they have, but the question now is, do they have enough fuel in the 40-gallon tank to make the finish?
We will see whether or not we go green here. There are indications that that is a situation, so if they wanted to stop again for a final top-off, they waited too long. Cars moving through turns 6 and 7 now. Bill Alsop, the number 2 car, the A.B. Dick pacemaker, is still out on the racetrack. He spun off the course a few minutes ago and brought about the overall yellow. And Bill Alsop is at the tail of the field, but still out there.
There goes Mario Andretti taking a big move. Does he have room down there on the inside? Chupan gives him a little bit of extra space, and Andretti gets through, but that was a bold move for this point of the race. There are still 35 laps to go, but Andretti maybe has decided now's the time.
Well, Mario Andretti stood on the gas when the green came out. The pace car leaves the race course by going straight after crossing the start-finish line when the other drivers go to their left for a turn, and Mario Andretti really got on the button. Now Andretti is the leader with Rick Mears falling into second. Gordon Johncock also moving up nicely in third position. Fourth still belongs to Bobby Rahal. So Mario Andretti has jumped into the lead here with 91 laps completed, and Mario Andretti is looking for victory in Cleveland, Ohio.
Bob, unless somebody